Alright.
The audio on this video is probably gonna be super low.
That's okay. Turn your volume up.
No mic. I would say for me to you, probably just because I knew you were smart. Like, book smart wise. So
Wow.
I mean, if we're talking outside of looks, like you're intelligent.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I knew you were intelligent was just attractive. Like I could see myself growing. Like, I didn't see like, cause I was never focused on like the childish things. Like I was thinking long term. And you seem to have the mind to get me to where I made myself.
Hopefully we don't get copyrighted.
It's low. It's not low. They probably won't know they hear it in the video. What is what is something that you know now today about like being with me that you didn't know a year ago or before we got married? Basically something that you've learned since we've been married. It doesn't necessarily have to be about me, but it can be like some relationship wise that you've learned since we've been married.
I would just say some people might think a male and a female is supposed to be loved different ways. Like a female is supposed to be loved a certain way, and a male is supposed to be loved a certain way. But I kind of feel like it's the same. Like you can't put either one in one category.
That's a good point. I agree with that. I think society like makes it to where men are supposed to like not be emotional, or at least not like be emotional, but like at least express their emotions or voice their emotions or let it be heard that they need something.
Yeah.
I've definitely been. I think I've always been comfortable with that, like voicing. At first, I used to bottle things in, but like I would always bottle them in until I couldn't take anymore. So then I would still end up saying something anyway. But now I've gotten more comfortable with like instead of waiting, just voicing. And sometimes I voice things, but like when I was younger, like I would voice things, but then it wouldn't be like
anything about it.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be heard. So that's kind of what it makes.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah, that's kind of what made me stop voicing things and bottling things. And I think that's where it really starts for anybody. Like, I'm sure nobody just starts off bottling things. I'm sure everybody expresses their emotions in the beginning, and then just depending through their experience determines whether they stop doing it or they got a good response and maybe they kept doing it. But I think with you, when I met you, it was like so easy to be vulnerable.
Really?
Yeah. Like you weren't judgy, you know? Or like you didn't like how can I say this? Cause I mean, early in our relationship, of course things weren't perfect. We were young, like we ain't know nothing about nothing. But for the most part, like you never like use my weaknesses
Against you?
against me, yeah, or you never like made me feel less of who I am. Like if anything, you made me feel better as a person, better as a male, like a man, as a man. Like it made me feel like my experiences are okay. Like it made me who I am. That's what that made me realize. It made me proud, more proud of who I am. But that's a good point. I would say for me, since we've been married, something I've learned a lot. But I'm gonna say I wanna say sacrifice or like trying to have less like ego, but I don't know if like when I said we were like I said when we were in the bathroom, I was like I understand people's perspective, but I always feel like mine is better.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that's an ego thing or like what. Cause I would like to think that I'm not like a egotistical person, right? So I always feel like my perspective is like the perspective without ego involved. But then even if I feel like my perspective is the better perspective, that's still ego. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. I gotta like really sit and reflect sometimes. Like, am I right or am I wrong? But I like to think if it's from the heart, then there is no right or wrong. So I feel like I make a lot of decisions based off our heart. Like I don't really show a lot of anger or anything towards anybody. Because I always think treat people how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when I was younger, I used to question that saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would be like, treat people how you want to be treated. But I would always think about, well, if I'm going to do that, then that person should be treating me how they want to be treated too. But I think, again, this is why I feel like I don't know if it's really an ego thing when I always feel like my perspective is right, because how I look at it is treat people how you want to be treated, not treat people how they treat you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some people think it's treat people how you want to be treated until they treat you how you don't want to be treated. But you got to treat people how you want to be treated regardless of how they treat you. Because in the end, after that experience or that encounter with that person, you got to walk away with a good energy. It's like sometimes killing people with kindness boosts your energy even more, just because you reflect on it. Like, dang, like I held my composure, I kept my composure, I maintained myself in that situation. I didn't get out of character, I didn't let somebody else affect me. But that's just how I look at it, that's my perspective. But to get back to the point, I've learned though not to always feel like my perspective is the better perspective, because I have to remember that you are outside of me. So like we can be having the same experience, but be experiencing it different.
Yeah.
And like what might be the best for me might not be the best for you.
Or what you might do might not be what I do.
Right. And then I think in those situations, of course, things can always be handled better by one person or the other, but I think in the present moment, it's not about what's right or wrong. It's just about making the other person comfortable. Like I may be comfortable, but if you're not, then I should move accordingly to ensure that we're both comfortable. Or if I'm not comfortable in a situation, and vice versa, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned. Ego, pride, all that. I guess letting it go. Still a work in progress. Though. I'm trying. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. Like my patience. I'm trying to really, really work on my patience. Sometimes it's like I'm a patient person, but sometimes, babe, you just your attitude. I love it. Like I love your attitude sometimes. Like, but sometimes it's like, damn, babe, like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like I give you 2, 3 strikes. I have to like those times. It's like all right. Like I can understand. Like if you mad, like all right, babe. Then when you keep going, it's like okay, babe. I get it. And you keep going. It's like god damn.
Shut up.
But yeah, my patience. I'll be trying to work on that more. Like to I don't know, with strangers or like people outside of us, nothing will ever get me out of character. Like nothing will ever irritate me. But like with you, it's different. I don't know why. You would think it'd be the other way around, but like I don't really care what anybody else feels or thinks, so it don't affect me. But you affect me, you know.
Yeah.
So like if you're unhappy,
But that's absolutely.
right. I do too. But some people might look at it like, oh, you get mad at your wife, but nobody else. Yeah. I hold her accountable. She holds me accountable. I feel like energy is very important. Like I do my best not to waste any energy on things that do not deserve or need my energy. I think I've done really good with that when I stopped like listening to certain types of music and entertaining certain things on social media and stuff. Like I'll have friends that come to me and be like, "Hey, bro, you saw that John Morant highlight or something like that?" And I'll just be like, "Nah, I haven't, because I don't even care about that stuff no more." I have not seen like I haven't watched basketball. That's crazy. A Super Bowl when we were at your sister's house. Somebody had asked if we want to stay for the halftime show. I was like, no, like I do not care about the halftime show.
Yeah. I wasn't there for Super Bowl game.
Yeah,
I was there just to see everybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, cause like in high school, I thought when the Super Bowl came around, at least with me, Like, I wanted to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, me too.
But now it's just like,
It's just,
who cares?
yeah, it's like,
I don't know. I mean, no shade to people who do watch it.
Yeah, I definitely.
It just don't matter to me.
Yeah, definitely don't. I think everybody should just do what makes them happy. I'm happy, like, being a nerd, I guess. Like, I'm happy learning about stuff. I feel like every day I just need to learn something. I feel like I'm an information junkie. Like, I need to read something. I need to watch something that is going to put something in my head that I didn't have there before. Something I can use in my actual life. How do you feel about taking advice from people?
Depends who they are.
It was a coworker at my job. We were talking about that, like advice, like taking advice from people.
Depends who they are.
All right, who is the person you would take advice from?
My mom.
Okay, that's valid. Why though?
So she's smart.
That's valid.
I'm just joking. She is smart though, but I don't think she would ever. Everything she said has been right so this far.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I know she's never gonna tell me anything to hurt me or make me feel like something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel that. I used to listen to my mom all the time because I grew up with it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I will only take my mother's advice. I will only listen to her. And like, I will find myself getting into things that's like I would listen to her and then it like not work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, dang, Mom, I took your advice on this. So now I was like, all right, I need to stop listening and make my own decisions. But I think I took it too far at one point because it was like any advice she gave me, I would just do the opposite. Just because I really believe that me listening to her would just make things worse for me. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to listen. I'm just going to like do what I want to do. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with that. Because even to this day, like, I accept anybody's advice. Like, I'll hear that person out. Even if they're giving me information I already know, like, I'm not gonna cut their wisdom, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm gonna let them say what they gotta say, and I'm gonna just reflect on it. And whether I use it or not, then that's because I'm gonna still make my own decision. But that's just how I look at advice.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to take advice all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to be like, with my mom, it was like, I didn't really take her advice as advice. I would take her advice as instruction.
You should do.
Yeah. And I think that was the issue. I wasn't thinking for myself. So when I think for myself, I was able to make my own mistakes and learn. I think if I'm just constantly taking advice as instruction, you don't have room to learn because you're not thinking for yourself.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to. How they coming out so far?
Good.
Do it look like I got any more growth?
Yeah. That hurt. Sorry.
Alright, let me go through my journal and see if there's anything here.
This video is so like, I don't know.
What?
Out of the ordinary, I guess. But it'll be okay.
I think this is how I want our videos to be.
Chill.
Like just chill. Like that's just
Normal life.
yeah. I got a lot of notes in here.
You need a haircut bad, but your hair.
This is good. So these are some notes on psychology I was taking, and it was like a test question, and it said, so I'm gonna ask you,
Okay.
how would you feel? How would you feel if a truck was driving at you while you were standing in the middle of the road?
Like, on purpose? Or just driving towards me? I would get out of the middle of the road.
Alright. So it says, if you said I'd be terrified or frightened, then you're on the right track. If your response is, I would just move out of the way or run. If your response is, I would just move out of the way or run, that may be a sign that you have a tendency to intellect your emotions instead of just sitting with them.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know how to feel my emotions sometimes.
Meditation. I mean, that's, for me, I never understood meditation at first until, like, I had an experience. I'm just going to say that. I ain't going to say what experience, but I had an experience, and it was, like, eye-opening. Literally. But it was eye-opening, and I was able to, like, go back to, like, my childhood and, like, vividly imagine those situations and, like, feel those emotions again. But then, like, come to terms with the events and, like, forgive myself, because I feel like a lot of trauma, like, I feel like a lot of trauma, we only hold on to it so much because we feel guilty. It's like survivor's guilt in a sense.
I think it just has to do with your trauma thing. This trauma.
No, I'm saying, like,
okay, I'm gonna let you wrap it around. Go ahead.
Yeah, alright. I feel like it's survivor's guilt, and then along with, whoever inflicted that trauma on us. But for me, I realized that everything is mental. Like, everything is in your head, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do anything without your mind. Like, I'm doing this with my mind right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is mental, so you gotta conquer that first. And then I think that's what makes meditation useful. I don't think it works if you don't have control of your mind, because you're going to try to meditate, but, like, you won't be able to. You're going to try to meditate, but you won't really be able to do it. Like, you won't be able to quiet your mind because you don't got control of it. I don't know. I can't even explain it. You just gotta understand it. Anyway, let me keep finding some stuff. But yeah, what we were talking about, sitting with your emotions. I think cutting out social media will help you understand your emotions. Social media is a big one. When I took not my first, but, like, when I intentionally took a social media break, like, life was good. Like, we don't notice how much that affects our self-esteem. Just seeing other people's lives all day and like not living yours. You spend hours on social media, and those hours could be spent literally making yourself a better person. People say they don't got time to do this and that, but their screen time is 4 hours. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, like, as like, if you think about yourself, it's people that is even worse. That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember when I was in high school, my screen time would be like 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if that was for like.
Well, I'm not. Mine would be like 6.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I know my screen time used to be crazy, and I would intentionally try to like stay on my phone, cause I would like when I get the notification and it's like, all right, you only had 3 hours of screen time. I would feel good. Yeah. Okay, so here's some bullet points that I have in here. It says people who are loud often don't feel heard at home. You think that's true?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
I can see that in my infants now. Like when their moms are about to have another baby, they'll start acting out. That's what they say that all babies do.
Yeah.
Once their mom's about to have another one.
You may look for toxic love if you experience that as a child.
I mean, that's true too. Sometimes, not all cases, but
I don't
you
know.
can either look at that and be like, "Oh, I want that," or you can look at that and be like, "I don't want that."
I don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know about that one because I looked at stuff.
And
I was like, I'll never be that, or I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I guess it just
depends.
Depends. Yeah. I don't know what it depends on though. I guess it's just how you look at it. If you had.
It depends. I feel like it depends on if your parent tells you. I feel like your mom told you, "Don't do this, don't do that."
Yeah.
But I feel like if your parent's not telling you that, or if their parent is like acting like everything's okay,
yeah,
then they'll believe that that's okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, my mom always told me like, don't ever do this. Don't ever treat a woman like this. Like she would definitely tell me that a lot. So yeah. If you grew up with financial issues, you may feel bad spending when you grow up. I don't know about that. I thought a lot of people who have financial issues still spend their money on like so I don't know if that's so true. You probably feel bad once you broke.
Yeah.
But not why you spending it. But I think a lot of people. I think spending is a emotional band-aid.
Yep.
I feel like it's like you just feel depressed, so you go buy something. That instant gratification. Girls who grew up with no father will tend to be attracted to boys who are emotionally distant.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Who are emotionally distant. I don't know about that. I feel like it's true, but up until they meet someone who is not emotionally distant, you know.
What's the thing again?
Girls who grew up with no father will tend to be attracted to boys who are emotionally distant. To like boys who are not emotional. I think
that could be true, or it could teach them. They can either go for a guy that doesn't show their emotions, or just not show their emotions themselves.
Yeah. a good point. Uh, the first to forgive is the strongest.
I don't think that means they're strong. The strongest.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it takes a strong person to forgive. Like being the bigger person.
It does take a strong person to forgive, but I mean, whether you forgive it in your own time, like it's not a race.
I'm not saying it's a race. I'm saying like I think of it like I feel like when you forgive, that means again going back to ego. Like I feel like that's you putting your ego.
I feel like you can forget. Like you said, whoever forgives first, meaning both of them must forgive each other, right?
Hmm?
Just because you forgive me first, don't mean you're stronger than me.
No, babe. You think about it like a race. It's not. I'm not saying it's a race.
That's what the thing is saying, I think.
No, that's not what it's saying. Babe.
Okay, what is it saying then?
It's saying like, all right. So like, if you know it's a struggle for you to forgive, I mean, or to apologize, like to say sorry for stuff. If you know if it's a struggle for you to do that because you're like you be stuck in your feelings, right?
Or just stubborn.
Yeah, or stubborn. The person who's able to get over that first is saying like they're strongest, like they're able to conquer their lower self and just apologize. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but you're right then. I get it.
But oh no, that was to forgive. Okay, the first to forgive is the strongest. And it says the first to apologize is the bravest. So to forgive is the strongest. I can definitely agree with that. I'm a very forgiving person. Like I don't take nothing personal, so like I don't even really need to forgive you because I never took it personal anyway. So. That's talking about other people, not you.
I know.
And then the first to apologize is the bravest. Yeah.
How are they brave for apologizing?
I think it's just like speaking like as a character trait. Like you might find the person who is first to apologize is the bravest. You know, like they're more courageous.
If you said so.
I don't know. What do you think you're saying?
I don't agree with I don't agree with none of this, to be honest.
All right, so you don't agree with that. The first to forgive is strongest.
No, I don't forgive.
Okay, I kind of agree with it, but the first to forget is the happiest.
I think that's true.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's me, because again, like I don't take nothing personal, so like that stuff just bounce off me. All right, girls lose 2 to 3 friends when entering a healthy relationship.
Probably. I don't have to know that anyway, so
yeah,
I wouldn't know, but probably.
A girl's favorite song will tell you more about her than her words.
No.
You don't agree?
No.
Okay.
Do you agree?
It depends, because you might have that one song that just really resonates, like with that moment or time in your life. But nah, I don't think so. Dreams are conversations between you and your subconscious.
I don't know.
I think so. I've recently had some.
I don't have that many good dreams, so.
Touchy dreams, some crazy dreams, like that connect dots for me. I don't know, but I agree with that. I think you just gotta be on that level spiritually. So like, because sometimes we don't understand our dreams. We really think this is just dreams. But I think once you start to understand like that is more than just a dream, I think you just are able to make more sense of things. Because it might not be the whole dream that you need to look at. It might just be something that happened in that dream that you need to look at. But yeah. Don't talk. This one says that you shouldn't talk or be with each other too long. Too much of one thing is not good. Do you agree?
Say it again.
It says don't talk or be with each other for too long. Too much of one thing is not good.
That applies to relationships?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't either. I can be with you all day. If a person laughs too much, even at stupid things, they are lonely.
Or they're trying to film.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. If someone can't cry, they are really weak.
If someone can't cry?
If someone can't cry, they're really weak. Do you agree with that? Jinx.
If someone can't cry, they're weak. I think it depends.
I don't know how to feel about that one. I don't really know. I think it just like because you get like if somebody's just crying all the time, does that mean they're like
Weak?
Yeah, are they strong or because they cry all the time? I don't know. I think it's like a certain point, like you gotta be able to cry like every once in a while, you know.
But some people it just depends on who.
Like
what that person has learned, what they've been through.
Yeah.
It just depends.
I think for me, I'll be honest, I'll probably cry like every. I mean, it depends. Like, but I'll say if I had to make an average, I probably cried on an average of like every 6 months. On average, like since the time I don't know. Let's say it's like since I started high school, I probably cried at least one good time on an average every 6 months. What about you?
I cry often.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe you are. Maybe that means you are strong.
I don't think that means that. Because sometimes I just cry out of anger, frustration. So.
If someone eats in an abnormal manner, they are tense. Like they're anxious. If someone eats in an abnormal manner. I can agree with that.
I can kind of agree with that too.
If someone cries over little things, they are innocent or soft-hearted.
If someone cries over little things, they're innocent.
I don't know. Some people be good at crying.
What?
Some people be good at like crying, but like still innocent stuff, you know? Like, are you innocent?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know,
I get what you're saying.
if someone becomes angry of silly or petty things, it means they need love.
I believe that.
Yeah, I definitely do that. I feel like we do that to each other.
Yeah.
took these notes. January 27th. It says, never take anything personal. So I said, one, taking something personal gives someone power over you. If you take something personal that someone says or does, they now know what triggers you. By never taking anything personal, no one can ever know how to trigger you. Which I feel like that makes sense.
Sorry.
Alright, I have here images affect your self-esteem. So going back to like social media and stuff, do you feel like social media outlets in general, like television, music industries, the movies and stuff that's pushed out, do you feel like that affects our self-esteem or just people's self-esteem in general? Like how they feel or think about themselves?
Probably.
I wrote,
It just depends on if you're doing, like, if you're on social media, then make sure you're doing something else, I guess, to make up for that.
I wrote media controls the mind if you're not aware that it is controlling you. I feel like if you're aware of, like,
gotta be careful.
Yeah, if you're aware of like the subliminal messaging and the stuff that's in movies and shows, then it won't have effect on you because you know it's there. I feel like when you don't know it's there, that's when it's bad. Like if somebody's tricking you, you don't know they're tricking you, you're gonna get tricked. If you know somebody's tricking you or trying to trick you, then they're not gonna trick you. But yeah. One thing I never noticed when I was younger was like men in dresses and like movies and shows, like full blown men in makeup and dresses, black men in makeup and dresses. Yeah, like I know it's a show, but like it's deeper than that.
Everybody just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Right, like we all thought it was funny, but it's deep. It's really deeper than that. I could talk about that, but we're gonna keep going through these. If you're not learning, you're not growing. Do you agree with that statement?
I agree with that.
I wrote, time is the measurement of motion. It's not really what your clock says or what your calendar says. It's like what you do with it that makes time. Like you can go, I always use a snap, like you can go sit in a movie theater for 3 hours and come out and be like, dang, it's nighttime. Or dang, it's still daytime. Like you were not keeping track of time at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like if you were doing a lot of stuff, time would feel different. Like it would feel different. So yeah. But yeah, if you're not constantly learning, you are the same person you were yesterday and the day before that. Another saying, if you got nothing within, then you go without. So I feel like learning not only about like things outside of yourself, but just learning about yourself is still learning. Like even if I might not learn something about financial literacy that day, but I might learn something about myself that day. And in that sense, I've just grown as a person. And then also, like, most people they don't think about life. Like, they don't think about what are my morals, what are my standards, what are my boundaries, what is life to me. I think once I got that set in my mind, like once I questioned myself about those things, that really gave me clear vision of who I wanted to be and exactly what my goals are, where I'm trying to get. I think some people are lost.
Mm-hmm.
Just really lost. Like, they don't even know. Like, I talk to my friends and they just like, you got so many goals. Or like, I told them I just started working as a mechanic. They like, you do everything. Because it's like, I done been in the military. I done been a medic. I done came home. Got my CDL. Started cutting hair in a barber shop. Now I'm a mechanic. And I'm only 21. It's so crazy. But yeah, they just look at me like I'm just different. But like, I like to believe that it's in everybody. Like, everybody is bound for greatness. It's just you gotta believe it. Once you believe it and carry yourself as that person, then you literally just become it. You literally just become it. If you tell yourself all you is a person who ain't gonna be nothing, then you're going to like do that. You're literally going to
Put your head down, please.
If you tell yourself you're gonna be like you're not gonna be nothing, then that's what you're gonna do. Your mind is very powerful. Mindset. It's the mindset. Okay. Divide and conquer. So do you feel like the way this country is set up in general, like how we have like
Sorry.
Like how we have left wing and right wing in like politics and stuff, how they had the whole colorism thing when people was fighting about who's darker, who's lighter. We still got racism, LGBTQ community, how they made that a whole organization for gay rights or whatever. Do you feel like that's all created to divide and conquer people?
Yeah.
Like, keep them going against each other, and then like, so the government can be like the answer. Like how they give us, it's kind of like how a lot of the brands in the consumer industry, like it'll be like 20 different brands that are owned by one company. And like, it can be like the same company who owns Lay's might own a pharmaceutical. And like Lay's might cause cancer. But that also the same organization that owns Lay's owns a pharmaceutical that has people donate money to the cure for cancer. Like, it'll be done stuff like that. Like, it's like they just divide you, and then they make you feel like they're the answer at the same time. Like, they create the issue, they create the issues, but like create the solution too. I feel like that's like how every business is run.
Or don't create a solution so that you could just keep buying and stuff.
Right. even though they have it the whole time. That's why I couldn't be a medic. Like that's why I lost. That's why I lost like drive for that. It's like at first it was really fun. Like I was learning about the human. I think the anatomy part was like the most interesting for me. But when it got into the medicine, a lot of it just didn't make sense because like I was already kind of hip to like eat healthy and stuff. Like, so like I already knew like obviously I'm eating healthy to stay healthy. So like why do I need these different vaccinations and pills to stay healthy? And once I saw like people would come in and get like 800 milligram ibuprofen for like the slightest knee pain or back pain, it's like, bro, like these people need physical therapy and a better diet.
Make your head go while I'm leaving you.
Okay.
Thank you.
But anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, I feel like there's a genocide of authenticity. The culture does not promote healing. It promotes drugs. It promotes GMO and fast food. It promotes having no morals. Just doing anything to get anything. It promotes addiction. It does not promote healing, knowledge of self. It doesn't promote being free-minded, and being free spiritually. They want you in a group, in a box, classified. They don't want you to be unclassified. Everything is propaganda. That's what I wrote. There's definitely good media out there. There's some people who do good things for the culture, but the mainstream stuff, the stuff that most people watching, is all propaganda. Okay, I wrote this. Let me tell me what you think about it. You have to live and die for something. You can't be afraid to live and stand on knowledge of self and your purpose and be afraid to die. Because you're not ready to stop living. You must pick one. So it's like people are afraid to die, but they're also afraid to like live as if it's their last day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like you can't be afraid of living.